Hey church, Pastor Gary here, coming with This Week in Rock Hall. So it's been a rainy couple of days here, but I think the sun is starting to come out. If you're able to join us for worship on Sunday, you were there as we continue our study of the Gospel of Luke. We went through a very interesting story. You know, we talked about being shrewd. When we think of shrewdness, that's not a very churchy word, right? We have maybe we know people who are shrewd and we think of those folks as hustlers, you know, as people who are deal makers, or maybe we don't think of that as just the best word to describe people, and yet Jesus lifted up just that kind of person as someone that Christians should model their lives after in a particular way. And it's about how the shrewd manager handled the possessions of his master. If you read the story in Luke chapter 16, the manager used his right now possessions that he had available to him, whether they were his or his master's, to provide for his future, because his future was going to look dramatically different. And Jesus says that followers of his should use their resources the same way for the future, not for today, but for tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to look very different than from today. And what we talked about was how we can have better use our stuff, our finances, our possessions for kingdom purposes, how we can invest them in the future, not just giving to the church, although giving to the church is certainly part of it, but how we can use our possessions to win friends and influence people. We talked about how reluctant we are to do that very thing. And we boiled it down to the question that we need to answer, that I'm asking you to answer today is, do you own your stuff, or does your stuff own you? And do you own your money, or does your money own you? And how we answer that really determines where we need to start before we can begin to have a life of generosity. Because when we're generous, actually when we give things away, they become more valuable. Because they make an impact, not just in our life, but in the lives of others. So they're worth more because they touch more lives. If you need help in getting control of your finances, or learning how to use your possessions with a kingdom purpose, reach out to me. There are a lot of resources that I've used, that Michelle and I have both used together as a family to help us get a handle on our finances and begin to build for the future. This Sunday, we're continuing in the study of Luke. We're going to be in Luke chapter 17, verses 1 through 10. Familiar passage, but also one we need to be reminded of, is the power of forgiveness, a life of forgiveness. So join us on Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, I believe. A great time to worship together as the body of Christ. You'll also see down below that I've attached some resources that our bishop has asked us to engage in as some of our churches begin to work through this process of disaffiliation. They are there for your education. They're there for you to understand a little better what's gotten us to this point and what might be forwards for us as a church, or for you as an individual. And please engage those, and I've attached a document on each one of the links down below that you can share with me your name and questions you may have as you engage those resources. All right, that's all I got for today. It's an honor to be your pastor, and remember, everywhere you go, Christ is alive in you, and he wants to do something through you, no matter what. God bless you. Have a fantastic day, and we hope to see you soon.